the like button to push the algorithm. Would help me out a lot, yo. Would definitely help me out a lot. So we'll get into some training camp stuff here in just a minute. Before we get into that, make sure y'all get my draft guide out until August 7th. The early access is at least 50% discount if you use the code EARLYBIRD24, like it says right there. So if you want to get the draft guide, I'm telling you, there's going to be a point in time where you're like, damn, I see a lot of feedback on it. I'm going to want it. It's heavy, real heavy. If you want to get at the discount, get it now. Otherwise, y'all can just watch it for the free. And then also my free rankings on Autograph app as well. You guys know where to see those. Those are for July. Those will be coming off on August 1st, all right? So free stuff, the paid stuff, y'all going to want that draft guide, though, when it drops. I promise you. Promise you that. How do you feel about taking Ayuk this year? Is going to be a risk. We got to see what the holdout situation looks like. Obviously, Ayuk has not got a deal with the Niners yet, so that is a little bit risky, but we're not going to worry about that until like week 3 of the preseason. Hopefully, Lynch is known to get some things done, so hopefully the Niners are able to get some things done. So Brandon Ayuk, I'm not overly concerned right now, and I wouldn't be until this thing extends out, maybe till about, I would say, like I said, preseason week 2, that second week of preseason, then I would start to be like, all right, maybe I move him down a little bit. I probably will adjust my rankings just in case. But for now, that's what I got Ayuk. All right, that's where I got him. See, DJ Moore got that contract. I did. So DJ Moore with a brand new deal. Good for him, man. We saw a 4-year deal, $110 million. That includes $82.6 million guaranteed per Adam Schefter. So congratulations to DJ Moore, who had a standout year last year. And I also think that lets us know like where we put DJ Moore in this receiver conversation, right about like $26, $27 million. So it's not like he got this like crazy ass deal. And he's not, I think we can know like he's a part of the Bears' plans, but he's not like the alpha there. So I think as time goes on, we're going to see Rome Odunze probably take over that role once Keenan Allen's gone. But for now, DJ Moore, good bag for him, 4 years. Would you rather have Debo or Ayuk? I think right now I'd rather have Debo. I'm going to be adjusting that, but I think over the most part, Ayuk, once he gets locked in on a long-term deal, then we could put Ayuk probably neck and neck with Debo, maybe a little bit higher. Let's go. Sonny G, what's popping? Bijan at all costs. Listen, there is a report that came out today in training camp. Obviously, Tyler Algier expected to take a lot of work as well. So we got to take some of that with a grain of salt. Obviously, the Bijan CMC stuff, got to take some of that with a grain of salt until we see the usage. My gut is that Bijan's going to be used in all facets of the game and that the team has to give him a rest at some point, right? So that's where the workload concerns come in for Algier. I still have Bijan as my number one player. Couple updates real quick. Shout out to everybody who was in the live earlier. And listen, if you're on here on YouTube a lot or you're on TikTok a lot, I tend to notice people who are in the chat, the regulars. I gave away like 4 or 5 different subs today. I gave away like 5 subscriptions to my TikTok page. So I appreciate those who if you run this back or if you're watching it right now, I appreciate you guys for tapping in with me, always showing love, showing up to the streams. So like I said, I don't know who's watching, who actually got it, but I sent out like 5 different TikTok subs, free ones for people for the month of August, since that's going to be turning into a member-only chat. This is also going to turn into a member-only chat for the first portion of the show, and then I will open things up. So just know when August hits, things are going to change a little bit. You guys can still get your questions in the comments of videos and still participate, but things will change as we get closer to the season. For the month of August, it's going to be members only until the chat starts, and then once the season hits, depending on how many members we have, this might be a member-only chat. Just giving y'all a heads up this year, okay? Because last year, the chat just gets flooded way too crazy. A lot of experts are fading Kamara. And I don't know why. It's probably because he's getting older, and you can call them experts. There's a lot of people in this field who are experts, but at the end of the day, it's educated guesses. So most of what people are going to look at when they say Alvin Kamara is fading, so they're going to go to the second half performance. They're going to see over the last couple of games, Kendre Miller took some more snaps. Over the last couple of games, Alvin Kamara, his efficiency went down. This is a brand new offense. Clint Kubiak is there. So we got to see Kamara get a new deal. He's been sitting out of training camp, so we need to make sure he's there. But we also got to take, like a lot of experts are fading Kamara, but he's already in the 5th round. How far can you fade a guy who's consistently been a top 10 running back? They were also fading him last year. Remember that. A lot of people were fading Alvin Kamara last year. Yeah, for Kendre Miller, I'm out on Kendre Miller. If you want to get him, go right ahead. Could Dobbins be the top running back for the Chargers? So Reports coming out, J.K. Dobbins is actually looking somewhat healthy. Kamani Vidal is the clear, I would say, third or fourth back right now. And Gus Edwards is a clear starter. Reports coming out of camp. So for me, I'm not really worried about J.K. Dobbins. I think Gus Edwards is their guy and will continue to be their guy throughout training camp. But there's a chance where Dobbins, if he looks good and he's healthy coming off of the Achilles tear, could be ready to rock. So it all depends, I think, on Gus Edwards' health, in my opinion, if he's able to manage the full load or if he gets hurt. And I think JK will get an opportunity to play somewhere. He seemed real optimistic about his bounce back. So we'll see. J.K. Dobbins, a good player, right? But he's just been hurt. He's got Achilles tear, ACL tear. That's tough to come back from. Huge Cowboy fan here. All right, Derek. He said they're a dumpster fire. JJ won't pay anyone and overpays the bum. Staying away from Dak and CD this year. The only thing is, if he pays them, there was a report that came out yesterday about CD Lamb, right? Almost had a 4-year deal. What was it? 168. It was like $34 million a year. So they almost got the job done there when it comes to CeeDee Lamb. Dak's probably not getting paid, but he's also playing for a new deal. So I get Jerry Jones won't pay anybody, but at the same time, this is also a prove-it year for both players, right? So I think Dak, CeeDee Lamb, they rely on each other so heavily that it doesn't matter. Unless CD comes into the year without a contract, I think he might be the kind of guy that's like, trade me, or maybe like, a little bit of a nuisance. So I'm not really worried about Dak. Dak seems to play through stuff like that, and I would be more concerned if Dak doesn't get a deal. If CD doesn't get a deal than Dak. What's good, Jazz Falcon? What's good? Bosco, what's popping? What's popping? Ronald, what's good? You said appreciate the consistent content. Got you guys, man. Obviously, like I said, we're going to have a lot more lives, a lot more mock drafts. I'm going to be doing a mock draft 12-hour stream this Sunday. It's 12-hour stream this Sunday. So if you want to tap in, I'll be mock drafting. I'm going to try to recruit some other people to do mock drafts with me, some bigger names in this space, some people that I respect in this space, and see what we can come up with. So I appreciate you guys too. I'm joining a PPR Superflex Empire League startup. What is that? What is an Empire League startup? Is that a dynasty? Well, I don't even know what an Empire League startup is. I think Bijan's a player you got to go in trying to get. Marvin Harrison's another player you can go in trying to get. I really like trying to get Jaden Daniels for the next 3-4 years. Those are guys I like at that position. I think you can get a discount on a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who's still relatively young, a guy like Kyle Pitts, who will be a bounce back. There's a lot. I want to say there's a lot of like really good talent that you can get. I don't know what an Empire League is, though. You're gonna have to explain what an Empire League is to me, bro. Sorry, Sanji, I missed your question. Trade Henry, Diggs, and Cup for Amon-Ra and Mixon. Henry, Diggs, Cup for Amon-Ra and Mixon. Now, this deal is, you kind of think about it, right? Like Amon-Ra is obviously the clear talent here. Mixon's probably around, I would say maybe a little bit after like Diggs territory, right? So basically it's like Cup and Henry for Amon-Ra, St. Brown. Now, you take on a little bit of risk with the old guys, Henry, Diggs, and Cup, but I kind of think this balances you out. Like, you get 3 strong players, and it depends on the size of your league and the rest of your team. So this is like a 12-team league. I like the depth. If it's more shallow, I think you could just rock with St. Brown and Mixon and kind of expect, I like getting those guys. The Henry, Diggs, and Cup side, I like that side, but it depends on how deep your league is, Sonny G. But for me, that's the side I would rock with. What's good? You said, I got the 109 in a 10-man league I want to go with. Back-to-back running backs. I'm thinking JT Henry. What do you think? If you can get Saquon there or Gibbs, I'd feel a little bit better. I don't mind getting Derrick Henry, though. But if you think about it, in a 10-man league, you get those strong running backs. You got to make sure you get receivers then. You would be, like, stuck to the position of getting receivers. So I don't mind that take. Or if Saquon's there, Gibbs. I like getting those guys, too. But be careful because there might be a good player that falls to 109. Bijan might fall to you. Brees might fall to you. It depends on who you're drafting with. Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown. There's a lot of really good names that come into that 107 to 109 range if people start reaching. Am I buying the Marvin Harrison hype? Yes and no. Like, I've already bought into Marvin Harrison hype. I've already bought into it. 1,200 yards. And, I see what he's doing at camp. I hear the way Kyler's talking about him. A lot of good things coming out of Arizona camp when it comes to Marvin Harrison, right? But what's the expectation? Are we expecting him to be like a top 10 receiver in the league right now? I think that's a little heavy. I'm not mad at it. I just think it's a little heavy. So for me, I'm not necessarily buying into like 1,400 yards, 1,500 yards, but can I subscribe to like 1,100 to 1,300 yards somewhere in there? Maybe. I don't mind that. Look at the situation. Gus Edwards was RB1 on the Ravens, had 1,000 yards, 13 TDs, and now they're both on the same team again. Now you got to paint the picture. It's true, but the picture also was like J.K. Dobbins was starting last year when Gus Edwards was coming back from his ACL injury. They were working him slower to start the year. J.K. was starting over him, so he was also drafted to be like the guy there. So yes, that was the case, but also we got to look at situation too, right? Like J.K.'s coming off the injury now; he's the one coming off the Achilles injury, whereas Gus Edwards is coming off the healthy season, 13 touchdowns. So yeah, I like Gus Edwards a lot at his draft cost right now, RB41 or something like that. But I don't know. I gotta see J.K. Dobbins on the field before I start like saying he could be RB1 or taking over a heavy workload. What up, Jay? And now we rocking. Daniel was popping, bro. Everything's good on my end, man. Everything is good, dog. Need that 24-hour stream. Listen, let's get through the 12-hour stream on Sunday. Sunday 12-hour stream. Let's get through it. I might make like a goal for the team. Like if we get a certain amount of like, I don't know. I'll try to think of something. If we get enough support throughout the 12-hour stream, I'll do a 24-hour stream. It'll probably be closer to the season though. Not maybe like later August. Not right now though. Not right now. 12-hour stream, yes. Sunday. God rest J-Hen working. You know what? At the end of the day, bruh, it's always it's life, man. It's life. So this is gonna be fun. Empire's a dynasty league where half the buy-in pot every year grows until a team wins 2 so damn. So you get half of the buy-in for that year, and then the other half goes to the winner if you win 2 championships in a row. That's kind of cool. A little different. Jay Slay was good. He said DJ Moore got paid. Yes, sir. He got paid. All right. JT or Saquon, I've talked about this. I like Saquon more in the upside there, especially with the pass catching in PPR leagues. JT's going to have a phenomenal season, probably push 1,500 yards rushing. But I got Saquon, man, and just behind the Eagles line, especially there's reports coming out of training camp right now that he's being utilized in the passing game a lot right now. And if we can get extra work out of Saquon in the passing game, I'm going to be very excited. So I think big things are coming for Saquon Barkley behind that Philly offensive line. A couple other things to note when it comes to training camp as I'm getting into these questions here. The Dallas running back situation, Dallas Cowboys running back situation. Stephen Jones, the VP for the Dallas Cowboys, came out and said they signed Royce Freeman, and the way that they were talking about him, it was like Zeke was the RB1. Royce Freeman was set up to be his backup. And then the young guys, Rico Dowdle and Malik Davis, were fighting to be that third spot. So I'm not sure if that was just kind of some loose talk by the coach. But there's one thing that I can decipher out of that is that Zeke is going to be the guy, the main back out of the split. Whether he plays, 50% of the snaps or 70% of the snaps, I have no clue. But I know I was kind of concerned about, is it Dowdle? Is it Zeke? Where can we find value? To me, it's clearly Zeke, and then Dowdle and Freeman are like the backup options, all right? So that was news out of Dallas camp. Out of the Chargers training camp, Ladd McConkey has looked the part. And so there was some talk about Quentin Johnston. Jim Harbaugh came out and said he's going to be a problem. And then they also had DJ Chark as one of the starters. But it seems like Ladd is going to be the guy initially that Justin Herbert's looking at. The only concerns I have are with Greg Roman's offense. So I know he's going right now like wide receiver 4 land. I probably got to move him up my personal rankings, but I'm not really big on Ladd McConkey. It's just I got to acknowledge it. If he's playing well right now, let's see what it looks like with the pads on. Also, Commanders, out of Commanders camp right now. Yeah, this thing is like going in and out. Out of Commanders camp right now, Jaden Daniels looks amazing right now, even with the pads on. So we talked about Jaden Daniels, and obviously this is training camp, right? So we can't take this we got to take it at surface level. We can't like overreact to things because there's sometimes where the dream team looked amazing for the Philadelphia Eagles years ago, and they sucked that year. And there's players who always look good, and then they perform like shit during the season. So I think when it comes to it, just take it with a little bit of grain of salt. But Jaden Daniels supposedly looks really good, getting the ball to Terry McLaurin downfield a lot in Cliff Kingsbury's offense. So there's a lot of excitement right now out of Commanders camp. Just a note there. And then the last one before I get back into questions, Javonte Williams has been the RB1 for the Denver Broncos in camp. Audric Estime, right? Audric Estime has also come in there and looked like a bruiser. It looks like it's going to be a 1-2 punch. But all indications right now are that Javonte Williams is leading the pack. So if those early concerns about him getting drops were getting to you, there shouldn't be any worry about that. Javonte looks like the clear lead back in the system, and maybe it was a wake-up call for him. All right. Where can I hop in a real draft with you before the season? It's going to be anybody that's part of the Dub Club is going to have a chance. Anybody that's a YouTube member or TikTok member is going to have an opportunity. I just dropped the chat for TikTok subscribers to get in. So I don't know if they saw it or not. I'm going to repost it there. But anybody that's a member or sub on Dub Club, YouTube, or TikTok is going to have first opportunity. Jayhin, when did you say the draft guy was dropping? So there's a pre-order link right now. You can go get it. The most current rankings I have are already in there. But the guide will be dropping for the people that get it early access. It'll be tomorrow, or excuse me, on Thursday, August 1st. For everybody else, it's going to be August 3rd. So people that were like all access, or I'm probably going to post more about it on August 3rd. But if you get part of this early access, you're going to have it on August 1st. August 1st.